Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of The Hit, the N and the N Actual Play D&D podcast.
Thank you.
Credit files. Yeah.
Number one foreplay podcast.
Number one foreplay.
That's what we do this for, is for play.
Yeah.
It's foreplay for me.
It's pay to play.
It's
for
my
me.
number one.
What?
I don't know. 69?
Ruined it. Ruined.
I will say I'm surprised Grav's not dead. I thought he was just going to get murdered.
I really...
It seems like it came
Oh, you
close.
thought we would murder him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair, actually.
Yeah.
I was going to go, wait a second. Then I go, nope, I know us.
Yeah,
I mean, that's it was Ace's plan.
Yeah.
That's how the conversation sounded last time, or last.
I'm really happy. I'm really
I was
happy
like,
with the...
we murder him next time, right?
Yeah. I'm really happy with the way it's worked out. I mean, I wish that this priest didn't get away, but like having Grav really swing around quickly to our plan. I mean, it was like I felt really good the moment I was like, "Oh, we have somebody you can talk to."
But it wasn't
He's gonna
easy.
come here.
Like, it was reasonable. Like, you could tell he was suspicious of us. Put up some fight, but
Yeah, I loved the recollection that he had when we introduced him to the followers.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, these are not worshippers of Melora."
And this is quite possibly like the first time somebody has said it so plainly, where it's like Melora is like this like free spirit will god, and like what's happening here is not that. Like nobody has put it quite as clear.
and I think it was fortunate that we asked the questions that we did of the disciples to kind of like lay it out.
Yeah, and I think, as soon as we let him talk to the worshipers, we let them talk him into like
being honest.
Wow, like it was like kind of like letting someone like talk long enough to basically incriminate themselves. It was like, okay, well, I get it, you might not believe us because again you just woke up from drowning, so just talk to those guys and they'll dig their own grave.
And I feel like anytime a party kind of takes that stance, like, hey, we're not here to change your mind, you can figure it out on your own.
Yeah.
And it corroborates everything. I feel like that's way more persuasive.
It is. Yeah, I don't know about you, Val, but it feels really good. I mean,
Val?
Yeah, I'm talking to Val.
Okay, so this is all in character. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh God, I'm so many people.
Alex is freaking out, man.
I am the Borg.
I have something to
people that were brainwashed.
I have something to say about that real quick after this, but I feel like Grav definitely has been like more like your bad guy, but I felt like a kid because you and I have fought him together as kind of like it's like the paladin
several
thing.
times.
Yeah.
That's how I felt as like one of those non-U2 people.
Right.
Like it felt like this was your beef.
Right.
And
I really liked that we didn't have to fight him this time. Like that was really cathartic, It was like, oh, we flat out fucking killed him last time. We put his body in the river. But like here's the evidence of like, oh, he's not all bad, he's not all lost. That was some ploy, that was some scheme, that was some machination. And to have him kind of like be on our side a little bit.
Yeah.
I really liked hearing him like confronting the priest. Like that felt really good.
that was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Well, it also felt like, because we'd pulled him naked out of some pod.
Yeah.
He was so defenseless. It was
He's like a replicant.
why would we just wantonly murder him without knowing the full story?
Right.
So it was, I liked that story beat of like figuring this out, and he's kind of on our side now.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then it makes you wonder, and it makes me wonder, like, who the fuck was this other guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Grav.
Well, that's
like, was
what
that like a duplicate? Like he dies, and then this
And
dark version of himself
How does it
manifests?
tie into the Painted Ladies? Are the Painted Ladies originally
'cause
some
the
sort
pods.
of good, like
Protector of the forest.
Yeah, like
some
forest
sort
watchers.
of
Yeah.
culturally relevant, like important people to this area, and this bastardized them in some way?
Yeah, and it really like was Grav going to turn into one, or
Yeah.
was it going to make him into a void guy again,
Yeah.
or like something,
Is it the real Grav, or is it just a clone of the Grav that died in the
Yeah.
ocean?
Or is this just a way of like putting people on ice, Like
I feel
he was
like
talking
that
about the
might
trauma.
be it. Like there is, you put them on ice and you get some sort of avatar of them that you can do what you want with them.
Right.
And so
that's kind of what I was sensing.
Yeah.
It was like, definitely. Like, remember how that happened in the Forest Temple before, where it was kind of like Crow got, and then there was like a copy of him.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was like. Maybe a higher level version of that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
like,
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like not like a 1-for-1 analogy, but like that same magical kind of theme.
I liked you two trying to just cut a bug out of a guy in the middle of like 100 people.
it was working.
I can't believe that
It was not working.
I can't believe I got
wasn't
talked
working.
into that.
I didn't have to do much talking though.
We rolled one and I got him, and I was like, God, we probably ought to pull the brakes on this one, right? Like,
No.
The whole
No.
time I was sitting here, I'm like, you guys are like in one room with 100 people.
I know, yeah.
Trying to grab a guy.
I don't
and
know. You know,
cut something out of him.
I have
I'm just
a
like,
very
what
vivid.
are you doing?
I have a very vivid mental picture of that
Yeah.
moment and that discussion happening, and then I look over at you and you're already rolling dice.
Yeah.
And you say, "All right, I grab him." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa." Okay, all right. I thought we were talking this out, but
I don't know. I envision the night going very like calmly and quietly, and we roll out to go and do our prayers in
Right.
the morning.
That's
we were
what I
pretend
thought
cult
was
members.
going
We
to
couldn't.
happen.
We couldn't let this bug thing go. And like, I think like Rhett the player was like, "Yeah, I can," but then like, you were really selling me on it. Ben was like,
He's really trying to say that this is all your idea, and he was just following along.
because when does Ben ever do anything like that?
tonight is when he did something
I
like
don't
that.
know. I feel like
It was
plausible
funny. I thought
deniability.
it was hilarious because I was like, I don't know, it just seemed like it was like you both were like just on this path together, and there was neither of you were pulling the brake, and you were just like, I guess we're gonna just
Yeah.
flip
That
a
might be-
blade out, and I'll hold him, and I cut him, and you guys. It's like you guys kept saying
Do
it, but
it.
also like raising an eyebrow to each other as you're saying it.
yeah.
Like, so we're doing this? Yeah,
I
we're
feel like
doing
that's
this.
our relationship in real life too.
We
Like,
were, yeah.
No one was like, wait, let's take a beat.
Usually, these two grown men are much more calm and collected and rational than this. Surely one of them will stop before the blade pierces flesh.
are you gonna stop me?
He's holding the
No.
blade right there, and Ben just shoves the guy's body out.
And I love that you were just holding a bug up. Do you see now? And I'm like, no.
You just cut a guy and held
You
something
just
up. That's gross.
I don't know. It felt... and that's like the weird thing. We've all probably had this, right, where you do the D&D math, and it's like you feel like there's got to be an alternate kind of ending to this path that you've laid out that will show itself, but then it doesn't. You know?
You don't win
this is
all
where
the 100 people over with the one
Look
success.
at the bug.
Like it's funny because I like literally I just remember thinking like, oh, we're not gonna go through this. No, that's not gonna happen. It's like, well, whatever. Yeah, let's roll it. Let's get it on with if that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of kept going and kept going. And I was like, okay, we gotta pull the brakes now. But then I was like, I grabbed the second guy. I was like, what?
What did I do?
I want to ask Alex.
Yeah.
Do you ever present scenarios and then go like, oh, I think I know how they're going to fuck this up? Or like, I know how they're going to absolutely derail this into a scenario. Or are you always like, I know how this
Yeah.
could go wrong, so I have contingencies for that?
I mean, I feel it's very much on either end of the spectrum where it's like, I know exactly what you're going to do and I can plan for it. Like,
Yeah.
I know exactly what I can present
got
you
us
with this,
pegged.
and you're going to try and do this dumb thing. Like, I know that that happens.
Whoa.
That happens. And that's
But
what's
then
going
the
to
other thing that happens is like I present something, I think I know what you're going to do, and you do something like tangentially opposite of that. Like not just the thing I don't think you're going to do, but something like unrelated entirely.
Yeah.
And there's usually no middle ground.
Do we ever do something that surprises you in a positive way? Where you go, huh, didn't think of that.
Sometimes.
Like we're learning.
You're like, twice.
Sparing Groff. Sparing Groff.
think-
He just said it earlier.
I mean, Sparing Grove, yeah.
I think it would be easier to find more of the other.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Then of the-
Tangential.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up earlier when you were talking about all the voices that you do or whatever. I loved that this is he doesn't get to do this very often, but he had like 2 cutscenes
where it was
like
just
empty
him.
Yeah.
I felt bad. I was like, well, I'm just gonna watch.
I felt really bad. I was like,
Yeah.
I tried. I tried to interject. I tried to interject because I don't want to sit here and just watch you do voices to each other.
I do try and condense it and have it more like this is what is
brief,
happening, not
summarize
just the full dialogue.
Yeah.
and it was good bullet points.
Yeah.
But we had Grav and the
disciples,
and then we had it again with
Morgan.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
It's almost like you find some sort of hack in a video game, and you just let
the game play itself.
Yeah.
No, I will not interact with this.
I think that was my favorite moment from the episode. Would have been him, Grav asking all of you these questions, and then asking Morgan, and then me as Morgan like reacting to it, like it's like I knew, and it's like, oh yeah, he's gonna ask Morgan, and then Morgan's like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah,
that was a nice moment. I did like that because
it's an intense scene, and then just a little
I like how it forces us to
end.
refocus into our character's motivation.
Yeah,
metagame. How did we do? For Grav,
I think he did good.
Yeah.
What he was looking for in that was a contrast from what he saw with the disciples. Like he sees these people that are worshiping for the sake of worshiping, for the sake of like getting things.
Ooh.
And then he was like, well, what are you guys doing? And you're like, oh, you're living your life. Like that's what he was looking for. Are you living your lives
then I feel like
of the way
good
you want to?
Because I gave the like boring answer of like finding balance or whatever, and he's like, but why? And I was like, because I'm fucking pissed, Grav.
And I feel like in contrast with the disciples, all of us on some level were like, well, we don't know. We're just doing what we feel is right or convicted of.
Yeah.
And everyone else was like, because we were told, or
because we were told,
like,
because so and so said so.
Yeah.
And we were
so
like,
just that sort of freedom in our responses, even though it was uncoordinated, I feel like is very persuasive.
And I would say that this isn't something we get too much into. This is like Helena's domain. Like the difference between Helena and Alistair as far as
I love that came up.
Their interpretations of like all these different writings people have done on Melora is Helena pushes this like you look inside yourself to find out how to pursue life the way you want to.
Right.
And that's how you worship Melora.
Yeah, you honor Melora by fulfilling your
like your own destiny, like your own destiny, your own free will. And Alistair is like, no, we must work for Melora and help her.
It's a real Catholic.
Here's a real question about Alistair. Do we think that Alistair is like full well knowing that what he's doing is wrong, and he's trying to like harvest our devotion to Melora for his own power, or did somebody get him?
Like
and
some
they've
other
tricked him into really
something.
believing this.
Well, I mean, my guess is, metagame is, I think he really truly believes he's doing the right thing.
Always.
And he's using, it's like, the pastor who will go to any means to like acquire disciples. And it's like, they're doing unseemly and terrible things, but they go, no, but the ends justify the means. Yeah. And I think in his mind, that's what he feels like. Right. He feels like the ends justify the means. So yes, if I had to imprison some people, these like kind of bug demons got to infect some people, but you're going to be saved. You're going to be saved in the end. This is for you. I feel like I am the herald. I feel like that's what he thinks.
Okay.
So he really feels like he's like the avatar of Melora or whatever they said.
He's a delusional cult leader.
Yeah, that's kind of what I would guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that again, we're just metagaming. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Like from the outside, we see it as a cult, but for him, he sees it as devotion and
because that's the
perpetuating.
That's the math that I've been operating on as Ben is what Dash said, but then I'm thinking to myself, it's like, oh, did like just another god who's trying to like take Melora down a peg like come to him and be like, I'm Melora now, my bidding.
We don't know like the actual machinations, but
right.
Yeah.
I think, don't we know in some way that like the Grey Roarer is involved in this, who is like the storm, right? So
back in the Quiet Year days, how did we peg Alistair? Like
he was like a shipwreck castaway.
Yeah, he just came to town.
He just came to town, and he was like,
but he had a message when he came to town, right?
Right, and I think
he had he had books of Melora that he had like brought with him.
Yeah.
And the big thing about that is like no one passes through the inner channels
unless they were
ever.
blessed. Yeah.
Like not even like those like Melora doesn't let anyone go, even those that are like faithful to her.
Right.
So like that was like this moment of like, oh, there's something special about him.
Oh.
He's
Wait, so are we
chosen.
on Alistair's side? No.
Cool.
Simon puts the bug right in his.
Yeah, hang on to that.
I loved having the moment where Ace just realized, I just want to hug my mom.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was just like sitting there thinking about it. He's like, what am I here for? Dude, I just want to hug my mom.
That's really sweet. It's sweet, simple, and gets you everything.
And it's going to get us there.
I think you're
going to hurt a lot of people to get back to your mom.
We'll get you that hug, man.
Oh yeah, that reunion's gonna be rough for you.
Your friend punched me in the face and knocked me unconscious. What?
I know you just passed out. It's fine. You don't have to make up stories. It's okay, Mom.
Just imagining Ace as Bam Margera now.
That's actually super accurate.
Right?
Yeah.
It is.
And I can see his dad as like Paul or whatever.
Oh my god.
He's slapping him on the toilet.
Yeah. And the super sweet mom.
Yeah.
It all fits.
All right. Well, hey, anything else to add or?
Find us on Blue Sky.
All right, sweet. What?
Find us on Blue Sky.
Yeah, we're on Blue Sky now. I saw that you had one of those sweet bsky.socials. We should add our like website to it so that it's instead of in at the end at bsky.social, it's the in at the end.com.
Okay.
We'll work on that. Anyway, go find us on Blue Sky. We're in at the end at
in at the end.
Whatever.
Yeah, in at the end
anyway,
with
you know how it works.
hyphens.
Just search for it.
.bs.
We're over there. We're getting off the other platforms. We'll be here on Monday with more episodes. See what happens next. Grab your sword. Keep on adventuring.